Most first-time cruisers make at least one very expensive mistake on their first cruise, but it's avoidable if you know what to look for. So let's talk about it. Let's start with the biggest one, the cabin. Most first-time cruisers treat it like a hotel room. They just pick the cheapest one and move on. Don't do this. Cruises are different. Your cabin can actually affect your entire cruise experience. Interior cabins, they can be dark 24 hours a day. You don't even know what the weather is outside, and a lot of people underestimate this. Cabins placed near the elevators can be constant noise and traffic. A lot of people don't think about this, and if you're a light sleeper, this is not going to be the ideal cabin placement for you. Cabins near the engine room, usually at the back of the ship or aft, is where you're going to find all the vibrations from the engines and also the engine noise. The front or forward of the ship is going to be where you're going to feel the most motion. So if you're prone to motion sickness, this will not be a great cabin placement for you. So avoid this at all cost. Also, beware of the guaranteed cabin and the cabin upgrade. This is very important. We'll talk about this in a minute. If this is your first cruise and you're unsure where to book your cabin, midship lower decks is going to be your most stable, best place as a first-time cruiser. Think of it like a seesaw. That middle part of the seesaw is where you're going to get the least amount of movement. It's the same as on a cruise ship. Also, as a travel agent, I book my clients close to the elevator, but not too close that you hear all the elevator noise and traffic, but close enough it's a short distance so you can get around the ship a lot faster. Next, we're going to talk about not understanding the cruise timing rules. Ship time is its own time and it stays stable throughout the sailing. If you are late to the ship will not wait, they will leave without you. You ever see those videos on Instagram and TikTok of the pier runners? That will be you if you don't get back to the ship on time and it sails away without you. After you realize the ship is not coming back for you, you have to then arrange your own transport to the next port to meet the ship, all on your own dollar. First-time cruisers and even myself are guilty of this all the time. It's overpacking. Cruise cabins are a lot smaller than people give it credit for. There's only usually a couple drawers, a few shelves, and a closet with maybe 5 or 6 hangers. You can ask for more hangers if you choose from your room steward, but do this on embarkation day because they will go very quickly, and once they're gone, they're gone. Usually what I do is I bring 2 to 3 casual outfits. I like to bring a few bathing suits and cover-ups because I find this is what I usually end up wearing. Also, I always bring a pair of comfortable walking shoes, especially with excursions. There's a lot of walking. Some of the excursions, like ziplining, you need a closed-toe shoe. So you need something like a sneaker to actually even do these excursions. So make sure you know the required footwear for excursions that you're doing before you even board the ship. If you want to make your cabin feel a little bit more spacious, you can actually use things like magnetic hooks. The walls and the ceiling are all magnetic in the cabins. You can also have over-the-door toiletry bags that I bring as well. And I always use the under-the-bed storage space. If you want to know exactly what I use, I'll leave my link in the show notes down below, so check it out if you want to. Next is what I hinted at earlier. Should you take the cabin upgrade offer or book a guaranteed cabin? Booking a guaranteed cabin is definitely going to save you some money, but here's what you need to decide if it's worth that money saving before you book it. You are not going to know where your cruise cabin is going to be until sometimes up to 24 hours prior to your sailing. Or even worse, if the ship is oversold, you are not going to get a cabin at all. So this is something you really need to make sure that it's worth saving a few $100s. Now let's talk about the cabin upgrade offer. This is something you really need to know because it's not as good as it seems. Yes, you can upgrade your cabin for a few $100s and get a higher tier cabin, but here's the catch. These upgraded cabins can be obstructed, they can be in poor placement on the ship, whether it be aft, forward, and these are not places that, especially as a first-time cruiser, you want to have your cruise cabin. So this is something you really need to think about before bidding on those cabin upgrades. Now this next one is something that gets a lot of first-time cruisers. They don't realize how important your cruise app actually is, and that you need to download this before you get on the ship. This is going to be your home base for all your information cruise related when you get on board the ship. It's going to have your deck plans, it's going to have your daily itinerary, your dining reservations, your menus at specialty restaurants, and your boarding pass, which you're going to need for embarkation day. This next one is something that people think they're going to save money on, and it's actually the completely opposite. It's booking your excursions too late. A lot of people think that you wait till you get on board the ship and you're going to get a better deal with your excursion. That is not the case. Please don't do that. Book your excursions before you sail. You're going to get a better price. The most popular excursions will sell out by the time you get on board the ship, and you will get what's left over at a higher price. Here's a pro tip. It's very important. I really need you to listen. Book through the cruise line. Book your excursions through the cruise line. You're going to get a guaranteed return to the ship promise, whereas if you book independently and your cruise excursion gets stuck wherever you're at, the ship's going to leave. They're not waiting for you. If you book through the cruise line, they will radio ahead, let the captain know that you are running late, and they will wait. As a travel agent, I get asked all the time, is the beverage package actually worth buying for my next cruise? It's really a debatable topic. So check out my video here. I'm Ashley Neal. I'll see you next time.